Codenamed Quattro, Windows Home Server was released on November 7th, 2007, with new programs not included in Windows Server 2003, but it shares the same codebase. Windows Home Server allows up to 10 users to access the server via internet called remote access on a SSL secured web browser via a free Windows Live URL. The following minimum specs are required to run Windows Home Server is 1.0 gigahertz processor or equivalent, 512 megabytes of RAM or higher, 64 gigabytes internal hard drive as a primary drive, but it can include up to 8 terabytes of hard drive space, 100 megabytes per second wired Ethernet connection. Now the Windows Home Server will need a bootable DVD optical drive, one display monitor, and it requires the human interface device such as a keyboard and mouse to operate the server, but it does not completely need the keyboard and mouse after the installation, where you can remote access the server without using a monitor or a keyboard on the server itself. Hi, my name is David Campbell, and I'm going to instruct you on how to install Windows Home Server using VMware. We're going to click Typical. We're going to go through Browse, and then we're going to click Windows Home Server ISO. Click Next. Now we're going to click Other, since Windows Home Server is not in the Microsoft Windows tab right here, so we're going to click Next. We're going to label this Windows Home Server 2. Now this is where you might have come up with a headache. The system says its recommended size for 8 gigabytes, but unfortunately Windows Home Server needs around 70 gigabytes, so 80 gigs will be just perfect. And then we can see right here that the memory right here is not enough. Windows Home Server requires 512 megabytes to run smoothly. So 1 second. I'm going to go to my memory, and then I'm going to bump it up to 512. The reason I don't bump it up to 1 gigabyte or anything like that is going to slow down my computer. So we're going to hit Finish. And we're going to have let VMware start up right now. And we have completely installed, well, we have started the process of installing Windows Home Server. So we're just going to do a few little tweaks here and there. And then we're just going to accept. Right now, since this is just going to be a trial, we don't need a product key. So we're just going to click next. And we'll just name this just server. And then it's going to be formatting the hard drives. Now with the collecting information, dynamic update, preparing installation, installing Windows, and finalizing installation can take up to 2 hours. I'm going to save you the heartache and just let you know that the only couple things that you're going to have to do is just I accept and agree. There's nothing else to do for Windows Home Server. It will automatically start up. I think the only thing that you may have to do with the installation, you'll be probably changing a few disks here and there. But the only thing you'd have to do is set up an administrator user and password. And that is the only thing I will not be showing you on here because this is going to take up to 2 hours to install Windows Home Server. Right now, with Windows Home Server being completely installed, we're going to create some users and we're going to see if we can add them into any type of groups. This process is very simple. All you have to do in Windows Home Server is go to the icon on the top left, the Windows Home Server console. This is where most of the magic happens on Windows Home Server. You just double click on Windows Home Server console. Wait for the screen to pop up. And then we have a couple files here, a couple options. We'll just click on user accounts and we'll click OK. This is kind of okay. Now we do have, we click on add. We'll call this person John Doe. And it'll be J Doe is his logon name. Now with this enable remote access for this user, you will be able to access this computer just like Windows Home Server and Windows NT 4.0, but this will give you some options what this server can do to allow John Doe to access. He'll be able to access a shared folder and home computers, allow access to shared folders only, and allow access to home computers only. So we do have very few options here. And it's not gonna ask him if he's gonna be a power user or an administrator. It's just gonna be one type of a guest. Let's give him a password. Let's just try to get this fixed. Click next. And then right here with this option, the shared folders, this is what he'll be able to have access. Now he'll be able to manipulate, he'll delete, add any type of files on the home server. This one will just give him access to look at it, and this will give him access to do nothing at all with the folders or files at all. So we're just going to give him full access. And then we have just successfully added a new user to Windows Home Server. Now, unfortunately, unlike Windows Server 2000 and Windows NT, we're only limited to 10 users on the Windows Home Server, including yourself. And unfortunately, we do not have any type of groups that we can have with Windows Home Server, but this is how you set up a user on Windows Home Server. Now on Windows Home Server, I'm going to talk about file management and structure. First thing we can do is we can look up on the server's hard drives. We got the music, photos, public, recorded TV, software, users, videos, printers and faxes, and scheduled tasks. And unfortunately, we have no files within the server right now to access, but we do have a way to organize all our folders or our files. So we'd be putting our music with our MP3s, our photos, or our JPEGs. Now the public is just could be random files that everybody's just sharing around with everybody else. Recorded TV software. Now this actually has the add-ins where you can actually, if you do have a computer hooked up to the server or Windows Home Server in the network, then this functions right here would be able to access how to have each computer talk to each other so that Windows Home Server would be able to access just through the network itself without remote access. Then the users. Now we got all the files that John Doe would want to keep as private since right now we're as an administrator. The videos, scheduled tasks. You can set up the defrag our hard drives if needed. And then if we'd like to, we can actually arrange these icons by content or name. And there's groups as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that is pretty much how we would set up for file management and file structure in Windows Home Server.